WholeOfEngland here, and welcome to Ship Shorts, the short ship guides for World of Warships. Today we'll be taking a look at the Tier 10 British light cruiser, the Minotaur. To really understand the ship, the first things you'll need to know are the main parameters, as they play a big role in understanding how to play and perform in this ship. The most notable part of the ship is its incredibly thin armour which, unless angled well, will almost certainly lose you a good amount of health when shot at. With the bow armour sitting at only 16mm, this allows for the bow to get overmatched by, well, even cruiser guns with a calibre of over 220mm, which will usually result in your citadel taking a hit. As well as the frontal armour being gravely thin, it doesn't get much better on the sides, as the deck and armour plating also sits at 16mm, and the massive exposed citadel sits at 101mm, which allows some destroyers, even they can penetrate it and give you a citadel, which is pretty bad. Thankfully, the armour, albeit a big downside, is one of the only downsides to this ship, as pretty much everything else redeems it. The main batteries, which consist of 10 152mm guns, have incredible damage per minute, which is due to its incredible fire rate. With the right upgrade, can shoot every 2.8 seconds. That's pretty great considering each shell has the potential to do up to 3,200 damage. The only real negative to those guns is that they've got a pretty limited range of 15.8km, so you'll need to get quite close to targets before you can take fire. I mean, you can also get an upgrade to extend the actual range of your guns, but then you'll be sort of forfeiting your rate of fire, and at the end of the day, the sort of more longer range shots do lose effectiveness. Alongside the guns, Minotaur has many other great features, one being amazing concealment, which can be brought down to 9.1km, 4 sets of quadruple 10km range torpedoes, meaning that you can technically self-torp, good maneuverability with an average top speed of 33.5 knots, and a fast rudder shift time, as well as a turning circle of 715 meters. Another thing to note is that Minotaur is a ship that often will be avoided by carriers, as the main batteries double up as anti-air guns, which allows it to shred entire squadrons if it gets lucky. And let's just say a squad of rocket planes does manage to score a hit, then the ship has its specialised repair teams, which applies to British cruisers of tiers 8 to 10, which heals 2% of the ship per second for 20 seconds, meaning if damage dealt to the ship is repairable, you can easily get back 40% of your HP, which is faster than a battleship can reload. Now I've discussed the good and bad points of the ship, I'll cover how you really play it, which, depending on what sort of player you are, can be two ways. The first playstyle I'll cover is a more reserved playstyle, which means you'll be choosing the smoke generator consumable opposed to the radar consumable. Because of your low detectability range, this will allow you to get some pretty advantageous points in the map, and then you can just wait for any slow moving targets such as large cruisers or battleships to roll up. Once you've got them in your line of sight, what you want to do is deploy a smoke screen while other ships keep them spotted, where you'll just keep on firing until they've either run away or you've shot them into submission. One thing to note about this playstyle is you need to be very wary of what enemy ships are radar capable, as if one is near you, they can use their radar and see you within the smoke, rendering it useless, and then there's a good chance you will lose most of your health if not die to this. As well as sitting in smokes, you'll also want to make the most of the terrain and your wide firing arcs, meaning you can shoot over islands, which is pretty much doing the same as being in the smoke, but with the comfort of land protecting your ship while you deal a load of damage. This type of play can also be adopted when using radar, which I'll cover next. If you're a more experienced player, or just not a fan of the first playstyle, then there's the option of using the radar consumable. This I find works especially well when going against both destroyers and light cruisers using smoke screens. First, going against destroyers with this is pretty great, as the detection range of the Minotaur is 9.1km and the radar range is 10km. This means once you actually do get spotted, you're going to be able to keep a destroyer spotted for 900 meters really, allowing you to hunt them down with relative ease. And from hundreds of games in both clan and random battles, I can confirm this is a very effective strategy to hunt down destroyers. The one thing to keep in mind with this though is to only perform it when you know you're not going to be in the danger of getting shot at by many ships, such as if you try this on a flank with, 6 players on that side, you'll probably be killed in seconds if you, say try pursuing it in the open, so make sure to do this when you know you're safe. With cruisers that use smoke, a similar strategy can be adopted, as if they've got no visual on you, and if there are no other ships really near them, you'll be able to push them, drop a radar, and then with that sort of element of surprise, because they're not expecting you to be sort of pushing out of nowhere with a radar, you'll be able to gain a bigger advantage as you'll be able to do a lot of damage while they're trying to escape, and ultimately give you a very good chance of getting the kill. Now I've covered the two playstyles in this ship, here's the possible loadouts you can go with. For playing it with a smokescreen, the captain skills you want to go for are Priority Target, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, and then for the last 9 points I'd go for Smokescreen Expert, Basic Firing Training as this will allow you to have additional AA damage, and RPF. For the upgrades, I'd go with Main Armaments Modification 1, Engine Room Protection, Aiming Systems Modification 1, Steering Gears Modification 1, Concealment System Modification 1, however, if you've got the unique upgrade, then go for Aerosol Smoke Curtain System, as that'll greatly increase the action time of the consumable as well as reduce the reload with some minor drawbacks with detectability, and then finally the final main battery modification. If you're going to play with the radar more, the loadout you'd be best going for would be instead, well, for the captain at least here, would be Priority Target, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, then the last 9 skills would be Jack of all trades, Basic Firing Training, and RPF. For the upgrades, I go for Main Battery Modification 1, Surveillance Radar Modification 1, which you can get in the Armory, Aiming Systems Modification 1, Steering Gears Modification 1, Concealment System Modification 1, and Main Battery Modification 3. With the loadouts covered, that brings us to the end of the video. This is the first of these sorts of videos, as I'm aiming to really create concise but still informative overviews of ships. If there is anything that seems like it was missing from the video or could have been improved on, then please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you found this review helpful, then make sure to leave a like. If there's a ship in particular then you'd like me to cover in the future, then again let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this or anything World of Warships related in the future, then consider subscribing to the channel. With all that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.